Hello, Facebook. Welcome to Meet a VC. I'm your host, Josh Matches, and I'm joined by our guest, Nicolas Szekasy, the co-founder and managing partner of Kaszek Ventures. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here, Josh.
So for our friends on Facebook, could you talk to us a little bit about how you got your start in the venture community?
Really happy to be here back because I was the CFO of Mercado Libre. And I was here during our IPO day back in 2007. After that, I stayed for a couple of extra years. It was a pretty obvious choice that, given the experience that we have generated operating a company, venture was the next phase. We were seeing great trends in technology. We were seeing great entrepreneurs in the region, but scarcity of value-added capital. So with my partner from Mercado Libre, Nicolas, we decided to raise some funds and to begin our new journey as VCs out of Kaszek Ventures.
Now, Nicolas, we're huge fans of Mercado Libre. The transition from being a CFO at Mercado Libre to now being in venture, what's changed in your day-to-day life?
Day-to-day obviously is very, very different. I would say that most of the day-to-day we spend our time with startups. I would say a typical day would be about half talking with our portfolio founders and helping them navigate through their many, many challenges. And the other half would be talking to potential companies that we might be investing on. Over the last 7 years since we launched Kaszek, we looked at more than 6,000 companies and we invested in approximately 40. So plenty of face time and analysis looking at new opportunities.
So 40 companies, that's quite a lot. What's kind of the average investment and what's the level of those companies?
Yeah, so in 2011, when we began, we raised our first fund, which was $95 million. And we invested in approximately 20 companies. Mm-hmm. Then in 2014, we raised our second fund, $135 million. It's also fully invested in a little bit more than 20 companies. And last year, we raised our third fund, Kaszek Ventures 3, $200 million. And we're beginning to invest out of that fund. And probably we will be doing in the order of also 20 companies.
Now, when you're thinking about deploying capital, is there a type of company that you're looking for, or is there a stage you're focusing on?
Yeah, clearly our sweet spot is Series A. Mm-hmm. We are very flexible. We have done a number of very early seed investments. We have done some later stage Series B investments, but most have been at the Series A level. And for us, that means deploying a check of maybe $2-3 million into a company, and we reserve at least twice that amount for follow-on in future rounds as the companies evolve and go to the market and look for more capital. For some of our most successful companies, we might end up investing maybe $15 or $20 million over time.
So when you're thinking about one of these potential investments, what are some of the factors that you think about before you make an investment?
We invest in early stage, so it is all about the team. We look at teams that we consider to be A+++, really exceptional teams. Some of the characteristics that we look for are clearly leadership. We look for skills to execute. We look for resilience to go through the good times and through the bad times. So that would be by far the most important component of the decision. Of course, we also want the teams to be focusing on large opportunities.
So, certainly your role as a past operator, as CFO, plays a role. Is there a particular characteristic you look for in a founder?
We would say leadership is very critical because a founder needs to surround herself with a very strong team to gain some leverage, needs to bring in complementary talent. So I would say that leadership is probably the strongest element. And once the team is conformed and they begin the journey, it is very, very important that they prioritize. These startups have infinite low-hanging fruits. They have many opportunities that they can go and pursue, and they need to be very, very focused and define the 1 or 2 or 3 things that they should be focusing on, and then execute relentlessly.
That's fantastic advice. What advice do you have for a first-time founder who's thinking about going into the venture community looking to raise funds?
Yeah, well, we would say it's very important that they have a very clear vision of what they want to do. Sometimes we see founders that have a number of ideas and they are going around. They need to really define what is their passion, where they can make a mark in the world, and then communicate that they are going to be doing this for the very long term, that they have a perspective that this will take a long time to be developed, and of course that they will be surrounding themselves with great partners that will help them to navigate these rough waters.
Yeah, fantastic. So you invest across a wide variety of geographies too.
Yeah.
Is there maybe a common denominator that you see as you think about all of the investments that you've made?
Yeah. We look at opportunities throughout Latin America. Part of our DNA as Mercado Libre operators is that we built a platform that was leader in every country where it operated in Latin America. So we think that the technology trends that we believe are changing the world are happening in every single country. So we are very open, and we end up reacting to high quality teams. So over the last few years, from Fund 1 and 2, we deployed approximately 2/3 of the capital in Brazil because we were seeing opportunities that got us more excited, but we're sure that in Fund 3 and Fund 4 and over the future, we're going to be doing more things in Mexico and Colombia and some of the other countries in the region.
Amazing. Well, Nicolas, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all that you're doing for the VC community, particularly in Latin America. It's incredible.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Very happy to be back here.
Facebook, thank you very much for tuning in to Meet a VC. We have a lot more to come here from the Nasdaq market site in Times Square. Stay tuned.